All right, hello and welcome to Spirit Island. We have an interesting game on the docket here. I'm going to try playing this game with two spirits on an island against a very hard opponent using some spirits that are rated as, I believe, very hard difficulty. Can I flip this board? I will in a second. Oh, it's this button. Yeah, complexity high. So anyway, if you haven't played Spirit Island before, I'll explain the phases as we get into it, but basically, I'm going to be doing an iconic duo of River Surges and Sunlight, so the spirit of the river, and I'm going to use it to push things into my Ocean's Hungry Grasp, the spirit of the ocean. The interesting mechanics here with these two are that this water spirit here is very good at pushing and manipulating the location of invaders. In this game, we are trying to protect our island from faraway invaders, in this case France, that's looking to colonize our nice little island. So our river guy is going to help push and manipulate where these invaders are, where the ocean is not really able to go inland, so that's going to be a problem if the enemy is able to expand inland. But if ever pieces are pushed into the ocean, which you normally can't even do in the game, if you push them into the ocean, they're immediately killed for free, and the ocean can use them, the hit points of the drowned units, to play its cards, which aren't very expensive early. You know, cost 1, cost 0, cost 0. But as we get more cards in the deck, I'm sure they'll be more expensive. And you can see here, Flash Floods, Boon of the River, Washing Away. Lots of pushing cards that we have here with our River Surges in Sunlight. Low complexity here, high utility. What we're really going to struggle with is the river isn't very scary. Ultimately, we want to scare the invaders away so they stop coming to our island. And very low on defense, so we have a lot of utility to move things around. Similarly, the ocean is pretty scary, and it has some defense, but it's mostly control, offense, less utility. So the river, again, iconic duo for working together. The biggest problem that we're going to have is we're playing on the thematic board instead of the balanced board. Again, if we play on the balanced board, the oceans are a little easier to get to, but on the thematic board, there's a little bit more of inland, so it's going to be harder for our ocean to participate. It also means the difficulty rating goes up. You can see if I hit this button, the difficulty is 8. If I hit it, it's 9. What does 9 difficulty mean? Well, actually, it's kind of out of 10. Here is our colonizer, our opponent for the game, and it's the Kingdom of France, and their difficulty ratings, start at 3, 5, 2, but very quickly go up to 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then plus we're playing on the thematic board, which is fun, but does mean that the game is a 1 point even higher in terms of difficulty. I got to play this game recently with some friends over the board, and we got to level 3 France. There are other factions of the game, what have you, but look, with all that said, let's jump into the game and see kind of what happens. We're not playing with any scenarios, no subordinate adversaries. We're just going to jump in. We're going to try and have our river push the baddies into the ocean. You can see the river starts with some presence here. This is where our river spirit is located. Over the course of the game, the river is going to get to grow. And the ocean, instead of starting on a tile, starts all the way out here in the water. You can see there's even the little graphic of said ocean, which is fun. The graphic of said river. What's a lot of fun is on the physical board, these little graphics exist for all, so you can see the natural homelands of your different spirits. Here they're just kind of painted on depending on which spirits are in play. So you can see in this game we've got explorers running around. We've got some cities and some settlements. We've got a couple of these little mushroom huts. What basically we're looking at is the white pieces are invaders from afar. They're the Frenchmen, and they are coming here to pillage and exploit the land. We definitely don't love that. We'd love to see that go. These mushroom huts are actually like the huts of the native people that will fight back against the invaders if provoked. So we can try and protect and use them to push back against the adversary. I don't actually know what this symbol means. I do know, you know, the fist prevents them from attacking once. These little nice yellow snakes are disease that prevent them from building. And, yeah. And then I need to look into what this is. But let me plan out our turn here, and I'll get back to you. Oh, as soon as I clicked a button, we got the first turn of the game. It turns out that the colonizers are coming at us, and they are exploring everywhere. Though I thought that France would send... Except during setup. Oh, the setup doesn't count. Explore onto a land which has no thing, you add an extra explorer. So in the future, whenever France explores, instead of sending one man to explore the jungle or whatnot, they're going to be sending multiple men. Also, France is pretty nasty when they build. They're going to convert all their extra men into more buildings. There is a slave labor card that will come into play at one point and help us, but basically the biggest way to lose to France is that they're going to be building lots of settlements from all these bonuses. Almost all of them, you can see the settlement symbol of them building extras, and if ever they get to 14, they just win. So very spooky, not something that we love. It is what it is. Now what's going to happen is each of our spirits has a chance to grow. So that means that they could reclaim cards. That's basically something we'll do later on when we need to get our cards back into our hand. We can add presence to the board, which will uncover certain spots and allow us to play more cards per turn and get more innate bonuses on our combos. And then other ways of getting power cards, which will make us stronger over time. You can see, though, it also pushes in from the ocean, which can be a bit tricky because you want to be able to eat or suck in enemies, and you can only drown them if you have a ocean presence. So we're going to talk about our growth options here in a second for this guy, and here you can see we have growth options as well. Reclaiming cards, not something that we're so interested in. Adding some presence, which is lovely. Getting permanent upgrades on our income and our cards. You can see in these little numbers here what it goes to. So we go to 2, then 3 is the break point. And then gaining power cards here. And you can see how far away we can move it. Right now we just start here, but obviously the water, you're like looking to move different tiles away. So here's a sand tile, I could move into the sand tile, and from the sand tile I could move into the forest tile. And yeah, so let me think about our growth options here, and I'll get back to you. All right, so let's talk about what we did here. The ocean decided to grow its ocean presence, which it's allowed to grow into any ocean around the board. And we unlocked the ability to play 2 cards, and we got the ability to do get a little bit of moon and a little bit of, well, just playing 2 cards. For now, that's it. We are going to have extra abilities because we are playing enough water and moon to be able to drown and cause some fear with our innate powers. But we don't have that much presence, so I'm not actually sure how helpful that's going to be. So yeah, upon reflection, because we're able to drown people with our innate power, I don't need to play my card to drown people, is how I'm feeling right now. So instead, we are going with the ability to pull people into the ocean to drown them, and the ability to give our ally some extra energy from a tidal boon, which is lovely. The river spirit, on the other hand, grew towards the coast because we want to be near this forest tile. At one point, I need to get my river all the way up here to this wetland, but That's why I went over the mountain, so I felt a little bit closer. We'll see what we can do with it. Right now it's a little bit lame. There's a lot down here, but at least this area starts the game with a lot of disease, so they can't build very quickly. Same with this wetland up here, but we need to get there so we can slow down what our opponent's going to do. Also, if they do get an exploration to the mountains, we're probably going to be in trouble very quickly, because the mountains are so far inland that if I can't push them out before they get a chance to really grow into them, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, for now, let's start, press finish playing cards, and we're going to see how the turn resolves here. First, we get the chance to play our fast cards, which is this birdie. That allows me to play the ocean card on here, and I can pull in explorers. Oh, I thought this forest was close enough, but you can see the forest is not quite close enough. Do I want to play it here still? I could play it over there. This will allow me to pull in this guy and this guy. So they will be drowned, and in fact, 2 people being drowned, because we have 2 spirits in the game, mean that we actually got an extra energy out of that, which is lovely. And then spirit, boon of the vigor. The river spirit could give itself 1 energy, but if it targets another spirit, it gets an energy for every card that they played. So I'm going to play that with the ocean, and now the ocean has a lot of energy, which is lovely. And I can create a little bit of fear out here, just because pound the ships to splinters. There's some wind and water and whatnot. They don't love that. We just got a card. 1 second. Okay, so what happened is the invaders are building in the jungle. So they're building in all these green places where they have at least 1 soldier. So here they can build like a settlement, and here they already had settlements, so they could build cities, which is bad. What I didn't realize, and the reason I should have gone faster to destroy that, is that I'm playing on such a hard difficulty that whenever the invaders build a coastal city, I have to add 1 settlement in an adjacent land with the fewest settlements. So here I could pick these locations. I'm going to pick a place closest to the coast, so it's going to be easier to pull it in. And again, they built a city up in here. That's going to be a bit of a problem. They are exploring the wetlands, which is also kind of poopy, but at least they're not going to the mountains, which we talked about being a very daunting situation. Again, they're sending lots of men out in all the different ways. Because there was already a settlement in these locations, they didn't send 2 people, they just sent 1. So it's not that bad at the end of the day. But now we have a chance to play our blue cards, right? Our cards that are slow. So this means that I can, for instance, drown a city or a settlement. So over here, drown it, and that will give me more power for the next turn, which is lovely. Here we can wash something away. We can push 3 things. Gee, I'm tempted to push this all through this mountain and try and get it over the hump. What's the title boon here? They may push 1 settlement and up to 2 Dahan from their lands. If they're pushed into the ocean, you can push them around. Basically, I'm trying to find a way of getting as much of this crap out of the wetlands, because the wetlands are going to get built in the future. But at the same time, I want to push as much as I can into the ocean. The ocean would be much better. I also can't reach this mountain. I thought I could. So that really does change the plans a bit, doesn't it? Let me look here. We can only push 1, 3, and then this is 2. So if I were to target this, they could target a land, and I could push him. Again, I'm trying to think about getting like over the hump or just out. Just out, you know? And then I could push the Dahan up there. Well, actually, where's my undo? I target you, move this guy up here. I can move the Dahan into this neighboring wetlands tile. I thought that would give me the chance to move. Oh, it's not the Explorer. That's too bad. For some reason, I thought it would include the Explorer. I need to think this through. One moment. Okay, I think I was going the right direction with it. I just need to make a slight alteration. And that is, again, we have to shove this city over the mountain. We don't need to push the Dahan here. Instead of sending them down, I could send them in a lot of different directions. I think... I'm not sure where I want them to be. One can go up, one can go down. I'm gonna undo that one more time. I'm just thinking, like, there are events that are positive for having Dahan in your territory. So I'm just trying to, like, maximize all of the ways in which we might, you know, benefit from having the Dahan around. The Dahan, again, being this native population, these little mushroom huts. So if I put them into the mountains, they're still in my territory. Down here, technically, they're outside of the zone, because this zone is only in here. Pushing this guy up here means that I can push him again, and we can go into here, and then boom, we have a chance to walk away, and there I can choose 3 things, and I could push all of them into the ocean, all of which will get swallowed up by the ocean. Again, that's why we call them the iconic duo. So here, I took a settlement effectively up and into the mountains, over into the woods, and then out into the sea. Who doesn't love that? Now time passes, the settlers have a chance to do even more. Unfortunately, they are planning on attacking the forests, which is kind of tricky for me. Again, even this forest is like 1 tile inland, so it's going to be harder to get to and help prevent. At least this forest here is right on the coast, so I have a couple different ways that I could look to protect against that with the ocean, who has the defend 4. Basically, the way the attacking works is that a soldier attacks for 1, a settlement with its 2 peaks attacks for 2, and a city attacks for 3. If ever an attack goes through that is at least 2, so in this case they're attacking for 4, actually 6 because this is part of it, they'll blight the land and start killing us. We'll start losing. So that's a bit spooky. It's a bit spooky. You know, don't want to lie. I feel like I still need to build up before I can do getting more cards, but it's hard because I'm going to have to recall very soon as well. So it's a tricky situation to be the ocean. So we're going to think about it. We're going to come back once we have a plan. Okay, so we've got some interesting decisions here. So yeah, like I was saying, this is an interesting decision because really, Sunlight Surges in River Surges in Sunlight is getting a new card to their deck here. And there's a lot of things to consider when buying a new card, but really it's what are the immediate needs? What are the long-term combos, i.e. we love water and sunlight. We're a river, we surge in sunlight. Those are what we want. And how much power does it cost? We actually have a lot of power right now because of the little boost that both our spirits gave each other, but in general we want something pretty cheap. So out of these 4 options, oh, excuse me, undo. No, just undo one thing. Undo this card choice. I can right click it. So this one here only costs 1, so relatively cheap. It has water and sunlight, so we would love that for our spirit. If invaders are present, we can push all of them. It's range 1, it's slow, it can only go into mountains or jungles, it doesn't have a very far range, and it's slow, but you know, all invaders of the explorer type is very helpful against France, who sends lots of them. And for instance, if they were to explore the mountains right now, they would, you know, send people from this settlement all the way up into this mountain, and there would be 5 of them there. Being able to push all 5 sounds pretty good. The other option, though, is a fast... Oh my god, I keep doing that. I need to right-click it. Is a fast card. It's range 1. It has to have a land with Dahan in it, but it can push 1 man or settlement per Dahan. And I think that's just stronger in a lot of cases. Like, if we look around the map here, we could push these people before they have a chance to build. Even here, there's 3 of them, sure, it would be great to push more, but we can already push 2 of them, so we have a lot of options, and it's fast. So I think Call to Isolation is a stronger card for us, but it doesn't have water on it, so it's not going to be as good for long-term synergy. It's going to be harder to get to the 2 damage and push 3 people, which is going to be less pushing overall, but again, we get to do more things fast, which I think is important. The Ocean is also getting cards. Now the Ocean, if we look at his board, he wants mostly water, but a little bit of moon, a little bit of wind, a little bit of mountain. So he can take a lot of different colors. You know, wind, mountain, water, I mean, that works. Moon, water, mountain, that works. These ones don't have water, so we really would rather not, but at least this one's fast. You could really have the Dahan fight fiercely back, and you can move them quickly, but that one's going to be hard to do. So I think one of these 2 really come out to me. Infested Aquifers is slow, so the other guys get to go first. It scales off of this, you know, disease. The real problem is range 0 means that the mountain's gonna have, like, we're just not able to play this card, right? Because in the mountains, all of the mountains are inland, and then there's only like 2 tiles left where we could play these disease cards. It is very helpful in this moment just because there's a couple disease tokens on the board, but we don't really have a way of generating more. So I think Call to Trade is going to have to be the card for us. It does cost energy to use, but it allows you to gather some Dahan, and if the terror level is 2 or lower, right now it's just level 1, or the start of the game, we can gather a settlement as well, and instead of doing a Ravage, they do a build. So we could, for instance, gather things into this forest and pull them out of the wetlands, which I think would be really helpful for us right now. So let me go lock in the cards and I'll be back. All right, we're going into the fast mode here. So again, a reminder of where the problems are. We have 2 forest tiles that are about to be attacked and exploded that we need to deal with. And we have a whole bunch of these wetland tiles that are going to be built in. Now, a lot of them have this little disease token, so we do have an extra moment to get off the ground, but not so much of a moment. So first, we can just generate a little bit of spirits, windy mountain waves. We can defend this location, so it's now protected against the enemy. And then here, we can call to trade, and if we do that, oh, the land already has to have a Dahan in it. I'm an idiot. Gee, well, I really wanted to use this card for something different, but here at least I can push a Dahan into the forest, and then do a call to trade. I can bring in extra Dahan from the woods, perhaps, and a settlement here. And what that does is now, instead of ravaging this land, they're trading, so they're going to get an extra build round. It's a bit spooky, but France gets a bonus for building settlements or cities along the coast, and this technically isn't the coast. so that's fine. This guy should build nothing. We have a lot of problems through this waterway, but one step at a time. Here there's a whole bunch of problems, but at least they're not building. It's really this interior corridor that's going to be a problem. For now, let's crashing floods here. It's coastal, so I get to do 2 damage. We can destroy this settlement. That actually gives us our 8th fear, so we get a fear card, which is lovely. All living things sometimes act in unanticipated ways, so we get an event card. Right, so we're at fear level 1. So what this card is telling us is that in a land with exactly 1, we have to replace it with a settlement. That is absolutely horrendous for us, because that means that France is going to grow its win condition, which is putting on too many of these settlements. Remove any token that destroys settlements or cities. And then reckless offensive. On each board, choose a land with at least 2 Dahan and some people. Each Dahan destroys 1 and adds a blight. So there's some things to work around here. A land with at least 2 Dahan and at least 2 settlements. Okay. Wow, this is a really interesting card, because that could solve this whole issue down here. So cultural assimilation on each board with exactly 1. So there wasn't a choice here. Unfortunately, they got that settlement back just in time to build the city, which sucks. And then the beast is attacking up here. Is there a beast down here? There isn't. So that beast kills that man, which I guess is nice. It saves us a build token. And then here we have to choose lands for the Dahan to kill things. It's gonna blight the land, but if they can destroy a city, why didn't I destroy 2? Oh, it did. It destroyed a city and a settlement. And then here, oh, I have to pick this territory, right? Which is gonna create a blight on a blight, which is a very terrible thing. Because this blight, whenever you have to add a blight to a tile with blight, you have to add another blight to the board. Oh, but there was a little... That's what that symbol meant. It was like an anti-blight thing. Cool. And then each retreat, each player may push up to 2 soldiers from an inland land. So this could save us from a huge build phase here. Here they have 3 guys. Here they have 1. Here they have 2. So it looks like we should shove them either all up into this mountain. I don't know. What are the sands? There's a sand here, a sand here. I'm just thinking like we could both push from this location. But no, I think you push this guy into the mountain, this guy into the mountain. And then somebody else chooses this land to push into the mountain. And now they're not building in both of these locations. They're ravaging the jungle, which thankfully means here they're going to build instead of ravage. We talked about that. And then here they attack, but we put in the 4 defense. And now they're going to build. Yeah, this is a little bit on the nasty side. Again, these ones at least will eat the builder tokens, and they get a settlement here. And because they're France, they get to convert a whole bunch of their stuff. And here they built a city, which is terrible. It means they get to build a settlement into an adjacent location, which we'll put over here. And now the invaders are exploring, and they've decided to go for the mountains, which is a bit spooky. There's a lot of mountain tiles down here that are going to be hard to get to. There's going to be a tremendous amount of explorers. Again, because France gets to send extra. So maybe I should have done the better long-term strategy for our spirit, but honestly, we saved this jungle from being blighted, so who knows? We still get a chance to do some coastal stuff. So here, for instance, they just added a settlement. We could eat that. Is that our only slow move? Sure looks it. But at least we have our fear almost up to the second card. That first fear card, getting 8 fear and getting a random event, is what allowed us to push all those explorers out. So that's a pretty big deal for us. Again, we have a lot of energy, but we need to recall our cards because we don't have any cards like left. We have a hand of 1 here and a hand of 1 here, which just isn't enough. So both of our guys are going to be doing recalls this turn. And let me tell you what we decide on here in a moment. All right, so here we are, ready to go. We have to pick some new cards. Now, the ocean, I went for a major power, which, because we have lots of energy right now, we have 7 available, we only play 2 cards per turn, it felt like the time, let's tech up, as it were, and none of these are really ocean cards for us, but at least the Talon energy card does a good job of dealing 5 damage at a mountain fast, so we might be able to do that and save our bacon by preventing a build from happening here, because right now the enemy is going to build 15 more settlements, and if they get to 14, we lose. Not to mention they already have like what, 4, 5, 6 in play, so we need to cull the population of people that are going to be doing that. So that's a pretty big deal. I also don't know how much. I don't know where I can see how much blight is on the island. We have 3, I think, left. Right now, it looks like we're going to be gaining 2. So maybe we just let that happen? It's hard to say because the big problem is here, there is 3 Dahan. They are all going to die unless I can stop that. I could do a call to trade, but if they did a build here, I think we'd just be in more trouble down the line, and we really have to deal with the fact that all these mountains are going to be full of buildings. We may have already lost. Which is why I'm looking at the Surges in Sunlight character here, and they have a card offered. Ooh. What's going on? Oh, I have to finish my forget move. One sec. Okay, yeah, I had to delete a card from the ocean because he's getting a new one. So here, at first I was thinking, oh, maybe we can do this defend, but that's really not going to happen yet. Oh, I hate that I keep not clicking the correct button here. The other one is, hey, look, if you have at least 2 centers of power, they can get more energy. But, like, who cares about sharing a little bit of energy? It's not that big a deal. And it happens too slow to matter. So what am I gonna do here? How am I gonna solve this situation? Again, the defend, it could be helpful because it could prevent this location from getting blighted, and that might, in the long term, be the best thing. But we're about to die. Like, there's gonna be so many settlements. And none of these cards are really giving me the attack that I needed. They do. They're just too slow. Jungle and wetlands are not places I need to attack. I mean, they are, but they aren't. So I don't know. Maybe we just defend. Again, removing a blight also seems nice. Our island's about to be on like 1 tick away from dying. You can add strife. I mean, like, it's just such a hard situation. I really want the water and sunlight and, what is this, moon and moon as well? No, you need earth for your combos. So, like, this seems really good in terms of water, surges, and sunlight. It's just not a card I need right now, but it does cost 0. Oh, the game is so hard. Maybe we just plan for the future, and we go from there. So here, we definitely want Talons of Sunlight. We need to choose a growth option. 1 second. So, the growth option that we had here is that the ocean, as part of recovering, is like the tides coming back out. So here we're going to retreat from this wetland before it gets blighted. And neither of these wetlands are looking to be blighted right now, so it doesn't really matter. It just depends on which one we don't want to be in anymore. I could leave the jungle as well. We're likely to have the ability to swallow up, like a structure. So that's why I keep thinking of staying here, so I can eat these guys. There's 2 blight here, which is a bit tricky. Maybe I leave the jungle for now. There's not much happening there. So we're going to go into this area, and that makes a new sacred site because we have 2 tokens. In terms of the powers, we certainly want this lightning. And again, we could protect the locations, but I don't actually think... If I make that a build action, we'll run into trouble. And I can't protect it unless it's coastal. So yeah, we might be lost, but if we can't play cards fast enough, so at this point we just Tidal Boon, we power up our ally, and if we can survive until our turn, we've got a chance. If not, it just wasn't meant to be. France on this difficulty is just super hard. Excuse me? Oh, one moment. I pulled my presence out of here, but I actually needed to keep it so that I could zap these guys. So, one moment. So yeah, this is going to be painful because I have to return a presence, and if I don't return this presence, it's going to die when it gets blighted, and I'm going to lose a disc. And losing a disc is just never fun. It's not really what we were hoping for. You know, we have to zap. If we don't zap, we lose. And I'm pretty sure we might lose anyway. Let's, looks like we're finished playing cards. We don't have much for fast actions. Again, we don't even have enough water to do our drowning stuff because the Talon card isn't. But at least we zap this entire mountain of all 5. And we create a bunch of Fear for Fear cards, which might save our lives. Let's see what the event card does. Okay, I mean, this says there's going to be +2 extra ravage from cities. That would normally be a problem, but who cares? It's already going to happen. If we had a blighted island, you would have to add more blight, which would probably kill us. On each board, we're going to add plague, but they are going to ignore the plague this turn. I don't think plague was helping us, actually, so this is a super good one. And then 1 fear in land where the invaders are outnumbered by, where the Dahan outnumber their settlements. I don't think that's very common. Most of our places are tied, so I don't think that's actually going to help us. On each board, I get to add 1 during this build phase. We definitely know that they're going to go into the sands next round. So let's go ahead and put some of these into the sands. Resolve. We did get 2 extra fear from that. Alright, during the next normal build, skip the lowest numbered land, matching the invader card on the board. That might save us, actually. They're attacking and being retaliated against. They killed a bunch of Dahan in here and blighted the land. They blighted this land. Again, they're gonna build in the mountains, but they are going to skip this one, apparently. I think that by not zapping this territory, we got a little bit screwed. Oh, what? They're going into the jungle? What? I thought they were going into the sands. They don't have a sand card in tier 1. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. And now France gets to add an extra settlement to the board. That's not very bueno, I have to say. We definitely would like it not to be... I mean, they just ravaged the wetlands, right? So if we could add it to the wetlands, and we can't, it would have been fine. They're forcing me to add it to the jungle. I guess... Oh man, I don't know. This is very spooky. Oh. No. Undo. Well, maybe we do want to be blighted, given that we saw that. I can't undo because I got new information when I did that. Okay, well, basically we have 4 blight until we completely lose the game, but from now on we get +1 energy and +1 card play because we're backed against the wall. That has potential to be something. I'm not sure what. But do we lose before then? Or no, we're still going. Okay. Consider this a big success. So here, I could push 3 things. They're gonna ravage the mountains. Again, I don't think I can actually reach the mountains. Which is a kind of big problem. I could just shove them out of this mountain. We have the tidal boon as well to help us shove. So we have the ability to add some turmoil. It can only be range 1. We have the ability to push people around, which I would love to do in a place like this and just shove them all into the sea. Unfortunately, with only 4 blight left, they blight here, and this mountain, we'll be down to 1 blight HP, basically. That seems terrible. But also, we have all these issues with the fields. Now, is this one inland? This one here is actually adjacent to the ocean, so this feels like a very good idea. Just shove them into the ocean and pretend they don't exist. You know, That's fine. Here we could do a call for trade in the future, you know. So we could maybe just prevent them from ravaging by letting them build and build and build. Also a bit spooky, but like you could do it. We have a push here and a thing here for making them not fight as hard. So this city not attack in the future. That might save us a round. Where is the river present? Because I was thinking the spiritual boon. They lost some of their land here. So we have to shove things down. And they don't even get to shove anything but some Dahan. Interesting. Well, we could put some Dahan in here. And maybe defend this in the future and have the Dahan retaliate. I can imagine that being helpful. And then, again, because I lost my influence down here, I'm very limited in my ability to shove. I can shove 1 mountaineer. And again, it's a little bit lame. I can send him over here for now. Yeah, I mean, wish me luck, damn. How are we gonna make this mountain safe? I am not sure. How are we gonna make this, forest okay? Again, I'm not sure. At least we can use the ocean to pull people in. So the ocean could certainly, swallow up some people. The river might be able to do some growth into the mountain area. Well, let me look through. All right, so the way this worked out is the ocean had to take a turn to keep building up its presence out at sea, which is a little interesting. I mean, I could have shoved in and gotten another power card, which maybe I should do, and I will recalculate if that's worth it. But the other thing to consider is that with the +1 play that we got from our Blight card, our last stand on the island, we can play all 3 of our ocean cards and all 4 of our river cards. So we kind of have everything in play that isn't in our discard pile, but there's a chance that it's all for naught. So we just have to go into this with our eyes wide open and see if, before locking in, is this good enough, or does the ocean need to do something more drastic? Instead of adding more presence, shove into the sea, like shove in from the ocean onto the land. What's tricky with that is if you don't have any presence in the ocean, then you can't drown and swallow people, and that's always a little bit tricky. So let me have a look and see if that fits. Okay, so what I do like is that we can haul in some people with Call to the Deep and prevent them from building in jungle number 2 here. That'd be lovely. We also have Call to Trade, which is 2 range away. From this wetland, we could range into somewhere here, and with a little bit of Call to Isolation movement from Dahan, we could turn one of these mountains from a blight into another round of building, which isn't great, but at least it would limit the blight. We could also do it in here. It's just a tad tricky. The reason I say that is that pulling the enemy into this mountain tile isn't fun. And the reason I say it isn't fun is that we're pulling them further away from the sea, where we're actually the strongest. So finally, Grasping Tide is only 2 fear and 4 defense, but there's nothing coastal to defend. I cannot defend this mountain with this card because it needs to be coastal. So what I need to do is undo the growth phase for the ocean here, and we need to do a growth here where we actually get to pick a new power card to replace our Grasping Tide. Alright, so let's see Ocean Hunger's minor power here. We do like fast cards, and we do like cards that have pulls. So like, oh my god, I will never stop doing that. Undo. Here we can gather things at range 2, which is flexible, but also we could be gathering them into the sea. It doesn't have the right icons for us. It's a minor power, in case you didn't know. This one does 1 fear and defend 2. Interesting. The Wundahan does not participate in Ravage. It doesn't take damage, and it doesn't counterattack. Roiling Bog and Snaggling Horn. Interesting. Uncanny Melting. We get to remove some blight. That could keep us alive. It's as good as defending a territory as removing a blight. We will have to push a presence in from each ocean. So we would be double stacked here. We could clean up something. It could be nice. I don't know what's going to happen out here. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull them into the sea anymore because I'm going to be pushing forward. So the game is so freaking hard, man. Right, because coastal, gather 1, if target is ocean, you can't. Okay. So what are we going to pick? What are we going to pick here? Add an animal, and if it has an animal, you can push up to 2 people. The only animal on the board is up in this corner, and everything else is too slow to be helpful. We're not doing an animal build. So yeah, it really comes down to A defend 2 is pretty weak, but I need to double check the isolate keyword. Alright, so isolate is interesting, but ultimately I think we want to pull this turn. And then I need to add a presence to coastal land. Water, coastal land. I really wish I could do it there instead. I mean, I have a lot of options in terms of coastal lands to add to. I want it to be either this one, or I actually don't know where that is. Or, yeah, where these two guys are. Make that work. And then I have to push a presence from each ocean, which is what I was annoyed by. We're going to go here to here. And this is where I really wish I didn't have to push. If I could just stay in this ocean, that would be great, but instead I need to push it. And there's a lot of ways it could go. I don't know that my cards actually require that I have a double stack. Don't think so, don't think so, don't think so. So I could spread this out just for the sake of argument. Alright, and then here we're gonna play every card that isn't our defend. And here we're gonna play every card. And yeah, I think the best thing that we can aim for here is to try and save both of these territories. The way I was thinking about doing that is a call to push a Dahan up here, which allows me to call for trade. I can pull in another Dahan, that's fine. And then one of these settlements. And then here, this tile doesn't actually have invaders. How helpful. And I can pull in a thing. So now if I look, this is only an attack of 1, not at least 2. This is a huge clump of stuff, but it's not attacking because I've called for trade. That means this mountain is a bit of a problem. They are going to attack and ravage this really nastily. Ravage this turn, damage 4. It says build for some reason. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're just going to ravage. If they were to build, it would be a problem instead. And that's what I think it's telling me. Which is interesting. And then, again, 3 lands are going to build up to 5 homes here. So could we work around that or at least start to trim on it? I could kill, it looks like, both of these guys before they build. That would be pretty nice. I don't know how much damage. Okay, I can't flash flood the mountain. Sorry. Right? I could flash flood the mountain, but it would just do 2 damage. It does 2 damage because of this thing that's in effect, this little rock terrain, but that would still result in it dying. So let's undo. Excuse me. We can make it here. Maybe those fear cards will save us once again. I could do the coastal pull, which would be fine. Spirit boon. Target another spirit. They get a energy perk. I mean, that's awesome for the ocean, who really struggles with energy. What to do? If they're gonna build, we should. Oh, we can't reach it. For some reason, I thought we could, but it's a tile away. Well, gee. I could kill the explorers in this wetland tile. I could kill some of the explorers in the mountain. I don't think I can reach these ones. I can reach this big one in the middle here, but not the 2 on the side. Excuse me. Whatever that just did. It put it somewhere that I didn't want to put it. It just depends on what the ocean's gonna do. If they're gonna build a bunch of stuff here, then the ocean's probably gonna spend its time eating it. In which case, the ocean should let them build. It's fine. We should eat some people over here. There's a couple of people that can be grabbed. Oh, this one is in that middle terrace. Okay, so a couple people. That gives us an energy. It's just meh. Like, it's okay. The question is, what am I worried about? If I have this later, the ability to drown a settlement. It looks like there's going to be settlements in here, though, aplenty. So let's go here and this settlement gets destroyed. That actually gives me the 8th fear for a fear card, which is perfect timing. Cool. Adversary event. The slavery, yes, of course. On each board, we get to add a revolt, basically, to a settlement. And we... At the bottom here, invaders with that will take damage per Dahan present. Yes, 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 yes. So let's resolve. We should definitely do it here. That'll get destroyed. And here, will get destroyed. Boom, boom, boom. And actually, wow, that actually did 2 damage to this city. Holy. I don't think I have another damage coming, but... Oh, and it made more Dahan somehow. And then the invader phase. So now we get another event. So, Strange Tales. Bring in explorers. One fear per spirit that has at least one center of power. After advancing the Aether cards, they each are going to get a extra explorer. That's terrible. Then the beasts are going to attack. And then more Dahans are gonna get stuff. No lands with invaders. So Dahan in the sands or the mountains on each board. So one here. And then this one was forced. Okay. Each player removes an explorer from a land with Dahan. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It could be this one twice even. Because this guy isn't gonna do anything for some time. Yeah, okay. Sure. So, click a land to ravage. That's annoying. This here is gonna destroy a water presence. This guy's gonna do nothing. And this one's gonna build a city, which is a bit spooky, but it is what it is. And we're still alive. This is incredible. And they're exploring the wetland, of course they are. They're coming back in. They actually, though, for once, are exploring. Here they are going to get all the way to here, but they didn't actually get to this tile. They didn't have a city in range to explore from, and it wasn't against the coast. So that's pretty interesting. Did they build a city on the coast? Did they? Why do they get one of these? They get a... Oh yeah, on each board they get a settlement. So here we'll put a settlement, and then here they can get it there or here. If... Let me double check this. I think that if they have... Pick a land. If it has cities or settlements, you have to add blight. And we are about to die, so this has to go all the way over here. Okay. It is what it is, mate. So we still have the River's Bounty. After advancing, invader carriage, perform a build step for one terrain not shown. That was from one of the events, I believe. Fortification. Add one to a... Yeah. After advancing, add one soldier to each land with... Okay. With the double spirit. Why are they getting an extra build, though? Maybe I missed this. Am I really... I'm not on terror level 2. See, this says fortification. Stages 2 and 3. After advancing the invader cards, perform a build step for one terrain not shown under any invader action. This is bad, right? This is telling me to do a thing that should not be done. Is it it might not matter though, because it says a build, right? Perform a build step for one terrain not shown. So if I pick sand, there's no one in the sand here. Oh, I lose. Why did they get to build? There's no sand. There was no. Were we were really riding the edge, or had we already lost at that point? Clicked undo below. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Over, because it's gonna do across the whole board. Am I really, like, again, I'm missing one right now. I don't know where to see a summary of what the invader has on the board, but they certainly have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the plantation. I guess maybe it's this 0. There's 0 left. 14, yeah. So if I pick sand, they build one here, and we lose. If I pick mountains, we lose. If I pick anything, we lose. Which is really, really unfortunate, because it's terror level 1. Terror level 1. And the fortification card that it is forcing us to do right now, for some reason it's highlighting this, is for terror stages 2 and 3. So we should be, after advancing cards, add 1 man to each site, and instead it's having us do this build action, which is killing us. Now don't get me wrong, 1 extra man on each site, here, and here. That's 3 extra troops on the board. Not that big a deal, but what was I going to do with the rest of my turn? I had 2 damage and push up to 3, so that could have been done here to kill this city, which would have felt really good, and kill this settlement. I also could have used it in other locations. The ocean had a coastal coming in to drown 1 settlement, so he could have done that in here. Again, it would have still been a problem, but not the end of the world. But yeah, with a Ravage coming in the jungles next turn, I think we would have lived in terms of Blight. Building in the wetlands, though, this build would have been cancelled. So we really would have had to deal with this corridor of wetlands, and I think we would have been in trouble. I have to say, it doth not look promising. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I don't know, because of the fact that this is dying to an error, as far as I'm concerned, a bug. You know, we could take a Blight instead of building a structure. I guess maybe that will happen. Because I built a structure back here, right? Instead, I could build the one I had planned here, and on... I mean, this would give me 2 blight. Oh, God. And it would kill a bunch of stuff. Undo. Yeah, what? How annoying is this? I mean, like, I get it, but also... we can get a blight. Where can we get a blight? We can get a blight down here instead. Again, that kills one of my ocean tiles, which is so annoying. But better than losing 2 presents. So there, we get that, and then this, and then when it breaks this event, I pick sand, and we live, which is just so annoying. It should, like, that's, I mean, it's literally breaking the game, but, like, you know, at the same time, what the hell, man? Push 3 things. Do 2 damage and push 3 things. Gather a bunch of Dahan. Hard to say. I do like doing damage here. I do like pushing here. I like drowning a settlement. What is this thinking? Like, again, the city has 1 health, but it's just not the priority. But it's also a Ravage I wouldn't have to deal with next turn. So it feels really smart. Do a damage here, and then I also get to push into this ocean. And like, that's massive. That's really cool. Then I bring a bunch of Dahan in. Again, it's really hard to defend these spots. I can use that card that pushes people based on the amount of Dahan in the territory. That could be used. Well, actually, in a couple of places. I was thinking I could use it here, this forest, to shove people away. I also could be using it in here to stop them from building a tremendous number of settlements, right? Because all of these guys would be converted into settlements. It is missing a... Well, no, if I add 2, then I get to add a 3rd Dahan in there, so that's kind of nice. Similarly, all of this stuff could be shoved further down the coast. Again, though, it's all blighted and killed. We only have 2 blight left. It's quite the situation, I have to say. This is also a problem. Don't know what to do with that. Yeah. Alright, well, make some more baby Dahan. The river's bounty. Alright, we still have a chance. We're still in it. We have 2 blight left. We have a huge number of settlements. There's 2 left on the France card. Let me have a look. Okay, I think we have a plan. The big problem this round is that there's a few places that are going to be under threat in terms of blight. The ocean player can take care of that with a call to trade and some defending. Love it. We also have Talons of Lightning, which we can use in the mountains or the wetlands. Oh no. Oh no. I have to play Entwined Power so that I can actually hit up here. One moment. Okay. So yeah, because I recalled this turn to get my cards back in my hand, the ocean had to pull out, which is poopy. But at least we got a new card called Entwined Power, which means we can share the discs of our ally back and forth when we're using targets to power. And the target spirit gains a power card, and you gain a power card that they didn't pick. So we get a free power card, sure, but really we're able to share each other's discs, which will allow me to use Talons of Lightning on a mountain or wetland, and specifically I'm thinking about hitting this location because it has 3 settlements in it that we could destroy before the build goes off and they build a city, which we would love. It does mean that this location that I pinged as checkmark is now bad, and this one here is now okay. But actually, by doing a call to trade, what I was thinking is that we want to pull this settlement away, and that will stop them from building a city up here. Actually, they're not even doing a build, so who cares? Instead, we pull the settlement from this forest out, and then a single soldier doesn't have enough attack to do the blight. It sucks, because we're pulling stuff away from the coast. We do hate that, but if it saves the turn, then we do it. The other half is we actually got a cleansing flood, and we can play enough water cards to get 14 damage in a location. So here's the thing. Perhaps I let them build this location, and that way they can kind of build it up so that we can flood it super hard, and instead I use my lightning ability on something different. Oh my god, now I'm thinking about all the different ways in which we could succeed. The problem that I was really thinking is this spot here has 2 things in it, 2 guys, just these 2. So by doing we could use some cards to do some pushing, or we could be letting them build. If we use our flash flood, again, we're not close enough, but we could do it from sharing our tokens with the blue, the ocean player. We could blow this up and they'll just build another settlement, and that would be low-key whatever. And then we can do some pushing, some shoving, whatever we need with the wash away to perhaps throw all these out to sea. I'm just really worried about not having enough settlements. Right now they're going to be building 6 settlements. And if I give them an extra build phase here, they'll even build actually 1 more location's worth of settlements. So that's why we're kind of going back and forth here over and over again. I could do the lightning storm here and wipe out all of the guys here, and that would stop them from building 3 of those settlements. Again, 3 is still a kill on us, but then we blow up another one with a flood, which sounds good, but then instead of building a city, they'd be building a settlement. We could attack these guys. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. It's a hard game. I keep going back round and round and round. The big thing is I have another fast card that I could be using, Call to Isolation. But then my Cleansing Flood wouldn't get the big bonus damage. We will also probably will have a Fear card coming through, and the Fear card deck is about to go to stage 2. So perhaps we risk it. It's hard. It's a very hard proposition to say, but again, if we can clear them out of this wetland tile, maybe it's worth it. Though annoyingly, it's like the only tile that we have ocean presence in, and I was hoping to use my coastal ability to swallow one of those up. But again, building 3 settlements in 1 location is probably too much for us to be realistically entertaining. Setting them back a settlement here isn't that fun, but at least it's something. Right, then they would just get 1. So that would set them back 3, and then 4, and then they only build 2. They have 2. Yeah, I guess that's the play we need to make. So let's lock this in. And again, we need to share our powers. We need to gain a power card, which we can do. It's not going to matter this turn, so let me just skim through. Yeah, so basically this is a dud draw. the one, like, none of these cards synergize. There is some sunlight here, but no water. Both my guys want water. I'm thinking that the Veil of the Night's Hunt will allow us to kill a lot of infantry at range 2. Very flexible card. And then from here, the Ocean gets to pick one. Being able to push is nice. We could push them into the sea. Also, it's range 2, so even the Ocean could have some flexibility here. I could also go for some Gatherers, and that would allow me to pull things into the Ocean and eat them, which would have been nice this turn. We could have ate something down here, so perhaps that's the way to go. This one provides fear, but you have to go inland at range 0, so that's not going to work for the Ocean. So it's either the push with the preventing of the exploration later, or a thing. I don't really care for the sun, so I'm going to go with the surrounding landscape. That gets us into the turn. We need to shatter this location. We just need to kill everything. That gets us to Terra level 2. Oh! I actually have to undo, because before doing that, we have a range 0 coastal thing, and this is our only spot, I think. So we do that at range 0, and then we kill them all. Creates a bunch of fear because we're destroying their cities. Oh, that doesn't actually kill. For some reason, I thought I had enough to kill everything here. We don't. They have one more unit in there than I thought they did. What? 1, 2, 3, and then this. It's only 5 attack? Oh, I thought it was 6 attack. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, back to the drawing board. Okay, it's less efficient, but the Talons of Lightning, I have to use it here because this will at least destroy a couple of settlements, and then if I kill the man, this will now be building a city, which again isn't great. We don't love it, but it does mean now we have 4 settlements to put, and there's 5 to go, so I just need to restrict them a little bit more. With a flash over here, I can do a little bit more damage, and now they're placing 3 settlements this turn, and cities on the edge will also place a settlement, so 4 settlements. Oh, and then the exploration card is going to give them 2 more unless I put blight. I don't know. And this location will build 1. I don't know, gang. This is like, we need to get super lucky with our fear cards. Gather. Oh no, that'll build a city? Alright, what's gonna happen? In each coastal land, oh, we're at tier level 2. In a single land with the most invaders, push each to an adjacent land. So, a land with the most invaders. In the single land with the most invaders. So it has to be you. And I certainly don't want to each adjacent land. Well, that means you build a city. That means you're going to build a city. And this is terrible. I hate this. And then what? And then explore. Each generates a fear if there's an invader present and moves to an adjacent land. If not, push 2 Dahan from a land with blight to a land without blight. So this one has blight. You could shove them all the way up into this wetlands. This one has blight. Where's the battle going to take place? There's a battle down here, yeah? So we should, we'll put some Dahan here for this guy to fight and die against. And then, again, there's no other meaningful battles. I guess we get these guys out of dodge in case we're gonna flood them accidentally. Again, I don't know. Each player gets to remove one from a land. Okay, okay, okay. So we can remove some settlements. This will give us a chance, right? So like out here, you guys were gonna, well, you're not gonna build anything, but we could remove a settlement. We could remove a settlement. Could remove a settlement. I mean, we almost certainly want to be removing settlements more than anything. I just think we go here. And again, if this location is tricky, right now they're going to be building a city, which I guess that is what it is. I'd rather them build a city than a settlement because we're so low on them. But yeah, I could make this mountain tile. I just don't know if they're going to explore the mountain or the coast or what. But when they eventually do explore the mountain, it's going to be a problem. So let's see. They're going to ravage the jungle. They can attack and get killed. Cities being built. Choose a land to build in. You get a settlement there. Choose a land to build in. You get a city there. A city here. That builds by. But there still are some settlements left over. And now they're exploring the sand. And the sand is fine for me. It's kind of like a free turn, other than this one. Just because there isn't much going on in those sand locations. And I kind of put disease there earlier, thinking that they had to go there. So that's fine. They have to build an additional settlement on each board. So here, and if I do here, they get a blight. So there, we'll figure it out. Coastal. Again, there isn't really a land for me to do that in. This might help though, push 3. So what I was hoping to do is push everything into one spot and then smoke it with a super river. Annoyingly, it would be better to do here, but I really want to remove the blight more than anything. So, and this does 2 damage to each invader. I mean, there's ways of making that helpful. So like, if I walk this way, you all go into here. And like, that is a lot of HP in this tile. Is it enough? I mean, the Cleansing Flood is huge. It just destroys everything. And removes the Blight. And that already gets us to a fear card for next turn. Holy, and half of the next. We might have a chance. This allows us to create like a bit of a revolt to prevent there for being a problem in the future. They're gonna ravage wetlands, so I could make our wetlands easier to protect. I'm looking at like this spot here in particular, because it's really hard for us to deal with cities so far inland. So I think deal 2 damage to everything. Now I could do that to clear a problem. They did build a settlement in here, right? Yeah, okay. It's a freebie. This one we can protect next turn and have the Dahan fight back. So deal 2 damage to everything. It's funny, I'd actually rather do the pushing. I could clear out a bunch of mountain people. I can't use it up here because it needs to be from a sacred site. I could clear out this sand, and that would be kind of nifty in terms of less problems. And then here I could make it so there's just the city. I don't know, man. Doing the sand feels like a great investment. While they have nothing going on. it's like really paying it forward. It's the investment that we need, right? The ocean needs more discs, but they also need their discs to be inland, which is tricky. The river doesn't have that much power. It also doesn't have that many cards. I kind of just need to grow my presence and get a card at least. We have a lot of power. Yeah, so what's at risk here? We have like 4 blight. That kills us like 10 times over because it's spreading everywhere. There's 4 places at risk of blight, but there's only 1 build happening here because this one's canceled and this one's been cleared. So it's really just a turn about creating defenses. We certainly can defend 4 on the coast here. I don't know. This Veil of the Night, you know, everyone attacks a different guy. Doesn't really help us. I'm worried that I don't have the right cards to defend all these locations. Right? I could gather a bunch of stuff and I could make some places safe. But how am I going to do enough? I have to look at this. Alright, again, an interesting choice. This time for River Surges and Sunlight, I would love to give them this wet card. This one's really interesting, but you need to have all the symbols, and trust me, I do not have all the symbols. But instead of doing one of the fun cards, I need to do an expensive card, because the only way I can see myself surviving this round, if we look at what's happening, the ocean and the spirits, we can deal with the blight here, the blight here, the blight here, but no one can provide enough defense for this location here. And the spirit is being offered a card that solves my problem right now, which is, hey, bunch of fear, get rid of the invader actions. You do need to have a location with your spirit site, so where you have 2 tokens, but River Surges and Sunlight is able to get away with a lot here by looking at... I need to destroy the card again. 1 second. I grabbed another major power. Unfortunately, I have to get rid of... I'm going to have no water cards left. This is so painful. Because I basically need both of these. Oh, wait, can I look at my... do I not have cards left that are in my discard pile? Crazy? Am I crazy? 1 second. Yeah, okay, there. I have my discard pile here, so I can pick one of these cards. Wash Away, Flash Floods, or Twilight Madness. Now, this card I have liked. It's helped quite a bit. It has sun and water, and it's 0 cost, but I'm not getting rid of my Flood. My Push 3 is incredible. 2 damage fast has been very helpful. It's also Water Sun. It's hard to say no. Maybe I have enough time, though, to keep going with these revolts. I mean, these help if you have them on settlements. When the slave rebellions come by, the Dahan hurt the people. So I guess we have to get rid of our Flash Floods, even though it hurts really painfully to do so. That means you are going to add 2 presents. You get to add that presence all the way down here, which is lovely. Next turn I have to recall my cards anyway, so that's fine. You are going to play all of your cards, and the mountain here needs... It's hard to say what I'm going to do with the ocean. I definitely want to play my wet cards that I can drown stuff. I'd love to drown a city even. But to drown a city you need 2 rock, and we only have 1 rock. If I don't play the Steam Vents card at all, I can't even drown a single solo. So I've been trying to figure out if I'm going to play Disorienting Landscape this turn. I think I need every card, so it's between Disorienting Landscape and Steam Vents. Disorienting Landscape is nice because I could choose a tile to make unexplorable. So for instance, we could pick this mountain up here and just kind of stem their ability to go inland. Or what? The other thing I was thinking is I could save this tile by putting 2 centers of power here and picking one of these guys to push, because we can use it to push one at a range 2. So I think That's looking pretty good, because instead of Spirit taking 2 actions to solve this problem, we can solve it with 1 with the ocean. So for that, I need a second presence here, and I need to deal with 4 cards. And here we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it hurts because I'm not playing a single mountain, so I don't get a free eating of an enemy card, but that's how it is. We are finished playing cards, I believe. We're playing basically everything. So let's jump into it. We make fear. We save this place. Again, it's right now it's only blowing up because they have 2 attack. They only need 2 attack to make that happen. Pushing one of them into the forest. They now only have 1 attack. It's just the threshold is 2, so that's fine. We can pick a coastal location and defend it. This is really great for us because there's a bunch of Dahan here. Excuse me. Why does this say that it's gonna do bad things? It's defend. Oh, because you have to unclick and click to take it away. So here we're gonna paralyze their ability to act. And again, if I click this off and click it back on, you can see that's gone now. Importantly, I can call a few and bring in a couple of cuties that we're gonna turn into energy for our next turn. And we can also pick here and call in this settlement. So now there's nothing left in this tile. So we've effectively saved this one. This one's paralyzed, this one's defended, and this one doesn't have enough attack. So now I'm not sure what to do. I have a couple different things that come to mind. One is that my guys can be pushed. Right? I can push a lot of things, but only if there are Dahan. So like here I could push Dahan, but there's nothing to push it into. Here I could push some Dahan and get them closer to the coast. They'd end up building a city in that case, which I don't love. I could also just move them into the jungle that is coastal, right? Just like to get things closer. And that would let me do something like this, Veil of the Night, to push 3 Dahan. And if I have enough Dahan in this territory, he should still be attacking for 0, even though it's pretty weak. And the Dahan could be there to beat him up, kind of thing. So I'm looking at using this for the defense instead of the attack. I could also use it to kill explorers. But it's not that exciting, to be honest, killing some explorers. So I think that's what we're gonna go here. We're gonna push 3, 1, 2, and for the sake of argument, 3, put 1 into here instead, because I only need 2 in here. And then Call of Isolation. Again, I can't. Oh, I can reach. Oh, I can reach here now. Interesting. Yeah, let's get these guys out and close to the ocean. We can push them in the future and get them into the ocean so we can eat them. Is my plan. All right. So the Year of Little Rain. We can, I mean, it's going to tip away here in a second. So for each board, we have to pull the top minor card. If it lacks water, we have to add a blight to a sands. And the enemy and Dahan both have less health for the rest of the round. That's interesting. If we had to add a sand here or here, it would be fine. If we had to add a sand here, it would be fine. We could also ease the drought. And then we could add more spirit, and this costs 4 energy per player, but is discounted by the amount of water we have in play. Unfortunately, this round we played very little water, but we do have a lot of energy on our card, so we need to pay. We get 4 energy for free because of this water and these 3 water, 2 water up here. There's 3 here. So yeah, so we need to pay energy from each. Yeah, sorry. No, pay energy. So 2 energies from you. How do I skip it? How do I start this guy? Do it. You pay energy. I could discard a card. Oh, yeah, discard a card. I have to recall my cards next turn anyway, so discarding a card is virtually free here. In which case, let me undo that. Year of Little Rain. We will ease the drought. We will start by having this guy discard a card. And honestly, I'm going to have the ocean pay the energy as well, because our spirit has some really big super cards that I would like him to do. So now we can add a thing, an energy or card play. I don't know which one makes the most sense. Add it to a land with Dahan, so we can add it down here. 4 cards to play. Do I even have that many cards? I think I have 4 in my discard here. Yeah, okay, so whatever. 4 cards to play. We get energy from all the other sources, it seems. And then here, Reclaim 1 is not that exciting, but it does get me closer to 4 card plays, so sure. And where do I add it? There's quite a few places it could go. I don't need a second one, all things considered, in a lot of places. I guess that is fine. The beast will attack, and again, so we didn't even need to worry about that location. The beast would have taken care of it anyway. Drain the ravage in every land. Defend 1 per Dahan. I mean, that's pretty overkill. Explore does not affect coastal lands. Lands with disease are... Whoa. Lands with disease are not a source of invaders when exploring. That's really interesting. Does not affect coastal lands. What if their card this turn is coastal, I wonder? It means they'll do nothing? Each player removes 1 man or settlement from a land with their influence. They're all going to get attacked, so that's fine. So here I can remove 1 of them, and then the water guy can pick here or here, and again we'll pick the settlement. The more settlements that are on France's card, the better for us. Again, he attacked for nothing and died, and then they attacked for nothing and died as well. We have a lot of Dahan protected behind our spirits. Which worked out really well. They got a little bit of building, and again, we didn't have to worry about the sands building here. And they did get the coastal. Instead of getting a mountain explorer, they got coastal, and coastal wasn't impacted by explorer, so they just got nothing. That is a god tier pick. Holy smokes. I need to figure out what to do with our ability to gather. I think that if I can gather a lot of stuff in here, it'll allow me to do that push ability per Dahan, and that will allow me to shove all these guys out here. So let's do that. We'll bring them in from the mountains. They can grow another one. I get extra energy, and the months go by. Holy, what a game. What a game. Alright, I'm going to do my growth options. Alright, stopping in just to say, usually I show the card choice if it's a very interesting choice. Here we're picking for River Surges and Sunlight. Hey look, water and sun on 1 card, that's fast, and it has a defend 4. I'm going to go ahead and click that, because here we have a location that's being attacked for 4. If we could move some Dahan into that location and then defend it, we would be off to the races, and that's actually the problem I have that I need to solve, and we can't do it with the ocean. So perfect card draw here, and then we also get a card draw here with our ocean. We don't have that much energy this turn, so I'm going to keep picking up miners for the ocean. We like ground and we like water. I like nature's resilience. Look at this. Defend 6. And if you have 2 water, which we should have, you don't get it from the card itself, but you can remove a blight. And right now we only have 3 blight left before we lose the game. The other one here is interesting. Defend 2, pretty weak, but it can gather up to 2 explorers. And if explorers are the problem, then bam, you can get them a little bit further out of the way. You know, we could start emptying out this mountain, for instance, or doing some other things. But again, I think a defense 6 is kind of massive and could be like the difference maker in a couple of spots. For instance, right here is the other location that's being ravaged this turn and needs a big defend, and they're attacking for, what do you know, 6. It doesn't have any blight to be removed, so it would be a little bit of a underutilization of that power right now. Maybe one of the reasons to go for a defend of 2, but a defend of 2 isn't that big, you know? This one has to be in range of a double disc. Now, I did put a second disc down here. I could undo that placement, right, because I pulled one from one of these 2 locations into the ocean. I could pick the other one, and that way I'd have a double disc there, and then 6 defense. I mean, it works out really well. It's not a mountain or wetland, so I don't have that. Let me just peek here. You know, yeah, no, it's just interesting. Let me have a look. Really, I think that we could pull enough stuff into the ocean and kill it that our defend 4 is enough. So perhaps we just take the entrance here. Anyway, there you go. So I'm going to pick the cards for the turn. We have many options. We just did a recall on both our characters. There isn't that much that's happening this turn in terms of their build, because they didn't get that huge explore turn. So really, they're just building in one location. They're attacking, or building in 2 locations, attacking 2 locations. I think we have this. All right, we're getting into the speed phase here. Honestly, I'm not actually sure how we're gonna do all the things here, but we're gonna give it a best shot here. One thing I know I need to do is get some Dahan into this location. So the only way to do that is here with a push and push these guys in, and then from there we can defend. And if we check 4 attack, 4 defense, the Dahan should retaliate unless the events do anything different and be good. Here we have this little problem, which we can A, defend, B, make them afraid, C, they are now attacking for 7 against our 4, which is too much, still too much. I guess it's only 6 against our 4, still too much. So what we can do is gather a settlement into the ocean, which is free food for us. We can... I guess we can steam vent somewhere. I wasn't planning to, because this guy's going to push 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. There we go. So all that goes into the ocean, and we swallow it whole. Gather up to 2. It's like time to start bringing people, you know, inland or away from where they are. So I can destroy one guy here. Now this is defended and it's all good. Here we can again defend 2. Doesn't really matter. At least we can start pulling people in. They will get a build, which is I guess bad, but we can drown one of them, and at least they're kind of out of the mountain. We're doing what we can there. We could push a 3rd, but that seems a little greedy, maybe is the way to describe it. So instead, let me put a "you shall not pass" over here. If they try and explore into this location, it will be defended. Okay. So now Do I really have 5 energy left? What the hell? Oh yeah, because I just ate a bunch of people. Invaders have begun finding hiding places. If we let them push back, we get a bunch of blight. Unless, so we should defend. We have to spend 6 for all. In each land with a sacred site and invaders, which is 2 lands, either do 2 damage or destroy. 3 energy where they do that. So we could do that twice. We get to destroy a bunch of stuff. That would kill them before they build, which is pretty nice. And then it would damage that settlement. I'm not sure how helpful that is, but it's better than losing a thing from each spirit. Each spirit with at least 4 among its lands may gain a power. That's pretty sick. Okay, so let's guard ourselves. We have 3 fire in play. Thankfully, we played a lot of good stuff. We could discard cards to get the rest of the way. Right, this Talons of Lightning, for instance. If I'm not going to have enough to play it, I could just discard it. And now I need 1 more energy, which I can pay. And that means that we have a couple sacred sites. This one here, we can deal 2 damage, and that kills both. And then down here, it's a little bit lame, but who knows, maybe we'll get an event. And then each animal gets a fear, and if not, it moves to an adjacent land. So we can move here or here. Let's move into here. It's more likely to have guys in the long run. Riddles of Power. So resolve. This is River Surges and Sunlight. They had a lot of Dahan. I don't know that there's enough Dahan in the Oceans territories. It certainly doesn't look like it. So River Surges and Sunlight. I don't think I need any of these cards. I definitely don't want Blight. Defend for 4 is interesting, but I'd rather have cards with water. I don't want enough water. This one allows us to remove Blight, and if I have enough grass or land, we can even make it untargetable. So let's do that. There is 2 fear cards here. Oh, and we're at level 3. Each player removes an invader from land with 2 or fewer invaders. And that's any invader. So we can destroy a city for free. And this city, I mean, we defended it, but we can just kill it. Yeah, I mean, there's these 2 guys in the center, and then there's this city. But do that. You know, if I had my water spirit in this location, they could do the giant flood in that woodland. Oh, I didn't get to see the fear card. What was this one? Skip the next normal explorer, but still reveal the card. Perform this. Card shifts left as new. Oh, wow. So this is another huge game. We're very much on the upside of winning here. In fact, it looks like, yeah, we're 4 fear cards away from outright winning the game. So fear is working. The invaders are skipping their explorer, which is a double, right? So that's pretty sick. We are running out of time to win the game because these explorer cards are running out, but it's okay. It's okay. Where's the location? Drown 1. I mean, I just can't. There's nothing to do. You can push a guy. This can push up to 3 guys. So what we need to do is shove this in here. And now our coastal lad, which we like. And then here I can push another lad into the ocean. And again, we're just uber chilling in terms of value. They have 2 cities over here. Most of the inland, like interior, is safe. This city did come back. It was really close to dying, which is too bad. What is our quest here? What do we want to accomplish this turn? basically killing these cities. If we do it at any time during the turn, we win. Unfortunately, I don't have a way of targeting them for reasons. My target card that hurts people is in the discard pile, and it does not target forests. Now, you have cards that could damage them. The Cleansing Flood. Again, we could send it in from over here by having the spirit grow. I just need a way of killing this. It's just a bit tricky. It's all a bit tricky, you know. Yeah. So let me think it through. All right. Once again, we are playing all the cards basically. I got a new one with the ocean here that's going to give me a nice defend of 6, which is what we need in one of these two locations. In the other location, we need to make sure that they're not building or exploring. Because they're ravaging and building here, that is probably best spent on that side of the board, and the defense is best spent here. Because the defend here will also allow these Dahan to retaliate. Which means I need to very quickly decide that the extra coastal... It has to undo my turn real quick. The extra coastal thing I need to put down needs to be here so that I have a center now. So once again, we'll just activate all these cards. And finish playing. Oop. I can reclaim a power card. Ooh, I forgot that I could do this. One moment. Okay, silly enough, I actually ended up removing that tile anyway, because we're going to be sharing spirit tokens with each other based on entwined power, so it doesn't really matter. We just got a random card back. We're not too worried about it. In the fast phase, we're going to choose here. That means that we're going to get a free power card. I'm not really going to worry about it. Elemental Boon is kind of nice. This is also really good. Spirit can do a card that's fast, and range from coastal land goes far. That's really good. Target spirit has +3 while measuring range to coastal land. So, bam. Sky stretches to shore. Kind of the opposite of what I need. I start at coastal and I need to go inland. But whatever. Then the ocean gets the other one. We'll just do the elemental boons. Not too worried about it. So yeah, we talked about this. We should make this one paralyzed or anything. And this one down here, we can defend for 6. You're gonna get the downgrade on the city, which is nice. Call to trade is kind of nothing at this point. Coastal, Call of the Deep. Again, we can pull in some explorers. It doesn't really seem to matter. If we had another way of pushing people around, it would be cool. But this just gathers. We're at too high a terror level for there to actually be trade. So it's just to gather a Dahan in a territory that already has Dahan. Not super interesting. I could just start pulling them out of the mountain. I could start bringing them into the woods. Again, we have our sand and mountain tile, so it's probably gonna change things up here soon. At the very least, I can call an infantry guy in. And yeah, sure, we'll just pull one from the mountain and call it a day. On each board, destroy 1, and yeah, so the rebellion is coming in. Add 1 to a settlement, and then the Dahan attack it, and that's on each board. We don't have any Dahan in here, unfortunately. Oh, never mind. We're at level 3. Destroy 1 and add, yeah, to every 2, and the defender takes damage per. Yeah. So this is insane. And then that side went off as well. And then they do damage, the Dahan do, if the things are messed up. Which means, I mean, come on. Invaders do +3 per land when ravaging with our centers of power. That is a bit spooky. That means it would have happened down here, but again, we just killed them all. This, in each land it destroys a thing. And we can add a doggo. Rouse the spirit. Each spirit with at least 3 amongst its things gets to play a power now. Yeah, I'd like to do some damage. In fact, I believe this will win us the game. As you can see, there's not many pieces left. So this washes them away and technically clears the blight. I wonder if it gives me that. It does. There are no cities on the island. So we've won. Not only is there no cities, there's actually no settlements. And their build was going to be completely ruined. They have only one guy in a mountain here. It's just nothing. So yeah, I mean, what a run. We actually like lost because the game had that error in it where it was giving us a level 2 event instead of a level 1. But we were able to go back and make a suboptimal choice. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool here. I mean, it was quite the run. We have a lot of Dahan. So our score is 69. So difficulty 9 is the multiplier here. The 10 for the win. 2 for every invader card. So if we had won earlier, that would be cool. +1 for every living Dahan, which is great because we grew it. And then -1 for every 2 blight on the island. Unfortunately, we lost a couple of points there, but the blight wasn't so bad. You can see here there's a little bit down in the wetlands where things started off. We cleared off the mountain blight, apparently, because one was blocked at the very start. A little bit here on the coast that was slowly getting washed away, and we even cleared out back here. So, again, the wombo combo of the river, from the river to the ocean, to the river to the sea, I don't know. That's I guess saying that is a political statement these days, but anyway, statistics here. You can see my all-time here. I do like playing the ocean, and I do like fighting France. I find they are a good opponent that don't break the rules in ways that upset me too much. I don't like that England gets to build if they don't have explorers there. To me, that's like a whole mechanic of the game that is like energy used. You can see my favorite elements here. Let's see. I lean into the wind, and I've leaned into some water and some rock. I don't do enough, it would seem, with sunlight, so we did do that today. With moon or with the ferocity. So maybe we should give that a shot one of these days. This game, we created a lot of fear. This is a tremendous amount. 85. We did a lot of damage to invaders. Proportionally, these look pretty even. Invaders destroyed, again, proportional. Maybe slightly higher on the number of invaders killed. Maybe that's just because we're fighting France, right? There's so many more explorers. We only removed 2 blight, so we weren't really cleansing the island. That's something I need to consider, though, more and more, is that, like, you don't have to defend a spot if you just can cleanse it immediately after. Something to consider. And then damage taken by lands, 23. We did a freaking great job. And this was, again, it was level difficulty 9 out of 10. I mean, technically you can go up to 11 and maybe a little higher if you put in some scenarios, but like 10 on all of the charts on the physical board game are where they max out. So that was cool. Damage taken by Dahan, 8. Blight added 7. So we did add a lot of blight. We removed very little, but we did a great job by just saying nope. Damage taken by the land, very, very low. I hope you enjoyed. This was a doozy of a video. 2 hours, my lord. I will see you